All right, so should you get C2 Mavuika? I don't necessarily know what the title of this video is, but I really do feel like Mavuika is a character who her C2 is a debatable thing. It nearly, I would say, makes her the best character in the game. Even when you look at other characters C2, I think this character just turns her into, or this constellation turns her into a very, very good contender for the legitimate best character in the game. The reason for that being is because just being on the team and using her E-skill is a 10% damage boost, because nobody relevant in the game right now is decreasing defense. Now, that could change. However, judging by the way they've handed it out over the years, I don't think it's going to change. I like, it really is a constellation only thing, or like a very character specific only thing. I would say they would have to basically come out with a character whose entire purpose is to defense decrease, and it wouldn't be that much, because again, let's look at this. What I'm talking about is a 10% raw damage increase. It is purely because 20% decreased defense. That's all it takes to get 10% raw extra damage. It's more like 11%, but I say 10% just because it's easier. Basically, that's really strong. And when you go ahead and you have that on a character who is also doing 1,000,000 damage on most teams, I feel like you're really just adding so much damage. I mean, let's go ahead. I can show off my Mavuika probably on a team that I feel like highlights her the best, I would say, and that is Nevi's team. Nevi's team is utterly insane. Because Mavuika is able to vaporize with Furina, able to gain the damage bonus from Furina, able to gain the res shred and damage, well, not damage bonus from Shilonin. It depends if you have her weapon, but her weapon gives her damage bonus. You're then just buffing Mavuika, and then you're also buffing Nevi, basically. And there's no downside to this, because Mavuika is also giving 40% damage bonus. So not only are you just like, you know, oh, 10% damage increase overall, right? Nevi will go from 40,000 to 44,000. That's basically what I'm saying here. That's how much of a damage increase, like just raw damage, no matter what, it is a 10% increase, you know? So let's go ahead and let's see the kind of damage that a C2 Mavuika can do. Now, I have C2 Shilonin. That is important to note, right? And boom, 77,000. And then my Nevi comes in here. He's doing 80,000. That's really good. I mean, I don't think I need to say that, but like, that's really good. And Mavuika here is not critting. Reason for that being is because, well, we don't actually have Golden Shroop on her, right? I normally go with Obsidian. I just find it easier to just not change the build, rely more on her Q damage, right? Not really that big of an issue. But, you know, Mavuika, we did get pretty unlucky because, again, even when you don't have Obsidian active, it should be like a 60% crit rate that you have. I mean, I have 55%. We didn't crit like 4 times in a row there. Kind of iffy. But generally, when you do crit, it's like 115,000. So as long as you crit 3 times, you're adding 1,000,000 damage to the team just off of Mavuika's raw damage. And I mean, that's insane, right? Now, important note, I have C2 Shilonin here, C2 R1 Shilonin. That is giving Mavuika, you know, 45% attack, which is insanely relevant because Mavuika, I mean, with her C2, gets up to 1,300 attack, right? You get the extra 200 base attack. So, I mean, that's, let me just go ahead and quickly check. How much is that actually? That's 585 attack-ish. For some reason, Mavuika in-game only displays a 1,099 attack, even though I think she's supposed to have a 1,100 attack. But yeah, 585 attack. That's pretty insane when you're talking about a total attack stat of, you know, well, hold on, let me check, so Mavuika's attack here is 2,832, so that means Shilonin is giving like a 21% overall damage buff just from having her C2 active. It's another thing from, you know, C2 Mavuika. Extra base attack leads to higher attack percent mattering, meaning, you know, the C1, you know, that we have here, it matters more. So overall here, I just, you know, it just really is good. Now, we can also talk about the C1 effects because that kind of is bundled in with, you know, a C2 Mavuika. Now, C1 here, I would say the main character this benefits is really just Shilonin. Shilonin benefits this insanely well. When you're looking at characters like Eonsan and Silali, if you kill on your Q, which is going to happen, trust me, it will happen. When you kill on your Q immediately, right? You're going to run into a problem of no fighting spirit there, and who are you going to on a, you know, Bennett, Eon-san's C-Lolly team, right? Who are you going to? You're not going to anybody because they have to slowly build you back up. Now, with C2, C1 slash C1, you do get slowly built back up, but never to fully. And that's a pretty big deal for Mavuika, right? Even just that little amount that you're not going to get fully completely hinders why Eon-san is a little bit better than Shilonin, right? And that is why I consider Shilonin the actual best in slot for Mavuika, even beyond C2, or even, before C2. I really do feel like, Shilonin here is a character who, she comes in, right? Let's look at the wording here, right? 25% more, right? So what is 25% of 90, right? Let's go ahead. 25% of 90. It's 22.5. So you go from 90 to 112, basically. That's good. So it's not insane, but it's very good because just immediately you gain 112 Night Soul, and then you have a character like, C-Lolly or Mavuika herself, right? Mavuika herself is going to drain Night Soul through, using her E-skill. Like, I guess I will now go ahead and I'll show off C-Lolly, version of Mavuika, and I can show you guys what I personally do with Mavuika. And, this is my team. I am probably going to C6 Bennett very soon, and I'm very curious to see what kind of damage boost that is, because 15% might not seem like a lot, but when we're talking about Mavuika, small buffs are a lot of damage. Like, I would not be surprised if I went from, 1.8 million to my initial, hit here to, 2 million. I wouldn't be surprised. And if that does happen, it's going to be fun. I might C6 Bennett maybe tomorrow. We'll see. I did just get C2 Eon-san by summoning a little bit on Mavuika's banner. But yeah, this is what I do. So Mavuika here is draining her own Night Soul. So we're sat here draining Night Soul, and then we hit him with a 1.6, and then we go ahead and we do that. I don't know why. Why are you being so finicky like that? Maybe I'm doing something wrong. But I would like to actually show that off correctly, though. Maybe I've forgotten. No, I'm pretty sure this is the correct one. I would like to show that off correctly. I mean, you guys saw that was Mavuika. I didn't necessarily do her rotation right, but she almost did 5 million damage. If you don't know, Capybara has almost 5 million health. He literally does have 5 million health. So when you almost kill Capybara, you almost do 5 million damage, and she can do 5 million damage. So I will say right now, if I'm looking at a C0 Mavuika, my Mavuika went from 1.4 million to 1.86 million and 380,000 to 600,000. So I'm going to leave that video in the description below in case you guys want to actually go see that video. I think that is I consider it a very good video. I mean, I put a lot of effort into it. I do have a second part to that video that's sort of an analysis. So I can actually show you guys the overall damage per rotation that happened with, looking at this. And we saw that Mavuika got a 44% bump. And you can see, like, 1.5 million, 1.6 million-ish, C2R1 basically is what the jump was. I mean, that's really strong. And if you're curious about to see what Vape does, 69%. So that is around, 31% increase to Melt. So I would say, yeah, definitely, looking at it, if you, I would say definitely get C-Lolly. C-Lolly being one summon to get you 31%, that's really strong. I know a lot of people are like, kind of like, I don't have C-Lolly, but I kind of want C2R1, right? It's certainly a lot more worth it. So let's go ahead. Let's get this actually done here, and we'll see the actual damage. Boom, and boom, 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 and we'll have that, and boom, 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 and we'll have that, and he's dead. Very strong. Legitimately one of the best things I've seen. Like, Mavuika is genuinely amazing. I do think that this character by far is the best character in the game. I look at C2 Skirk. A lot of people I know like Skirk. I mean, it genuinely, if you're talking about, oh, should I save for C2 Skirk? Should I get C2 Mavuika? And get whatever character you want. They're both insane. Genuinely. Like, these characters are great. Like, if you don't have Miss Coffee for Skirk, then I kind of have to be like, get Miss Coffee instead of like Constellations from Mavuika. I do have to just say that because, well, you'll probably have enough time to save, but I want to caution, please, caution. I can shake my desk right now. Caution, do not summon for Mavuika Constellations if you don't have Miss Coffee for Skirk. Get Miss Coffee, please. I would highly recommend getting, Miss Coffee for Skirk. It's a very good upgrade for Skirk. And Mavuika, again, C0R1, it really isn't like a struggle. You're not struggling with a C0R1 Mavuika, right? You're not. But yeah, just to show off like the sort of the damage numbers, I mean, that I really feel like two scenarios where it's like, C2 showing off her support, with the Nevi team, and then you have her power and her damage with, the normal team. I mean, it really is just a lot. C2 Shilonin might not be that insane. Well, it's more insane for, Nevi team, but C2 Shilonin might not be that insane, because I also forgot C-Law is giving 48% attack here. So, okay, C2 Shilonin is probably like a 15% maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to do the math again. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just not. I could, but I'm not. I don't know. I'm really debating. I hope this I didn't want to like answer the question for you guys. I wanted to just kind of let you guys see, what C2 Mavuika is able to do. What's the difference between a C0 version? I mean, again, go check out, if you want like the raw damage numbers and stuff, go check out the C0 versus C2 versus C1 and stuff. I will have that linked in the description. I really do feel like that video could definitely be helpful, because you'll be able to see the actual damage numbers in the video, that comparatively to what I'm able to show right now, which is just C2 Mavuika. I do have, Mavuika testing at C0 when I had her at C0. So overall, yeah, I think that's going to mark the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.